Hello again, everyone. My name is John, and welcome to my channel, Real Life Stories with Real Choices for Real Growth. I wanted to tell everybody, I kind of had a little bit of a setback in a way in my own and on my own mind. I try to go in here and do these videos, and I try to I'm going to create this, I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to do it that way. But instead of starting from my childhood, I actually believed that. I'm going to go through this a little bit back and forth. Like, I'll share some experiences now that kind of led me to where I'm at and the choices I made beforehand. Now, I know in the previous video and everything, I told you about Brian became my second stepfather and everything like that, and that I was going to go to my middle school years and my high school years. But there was a couple of important details that I kind of left out that I want to make sure that everyone understands. So I grew up with my brothers and my mom mainly. And, with that came great responsibilities, right? We had a lot of chores. We had a lot of other things we had to do. We fought all the time. Me and my brothers never got along. There wasn't anything that we agreed on. We fought, argued. We were brothers. What can I say? But, growing up in a world, I was abused with a belt pretty much every time I got in trouble from the age of like 5 all the way to 8. I was psychologically abused pretty much the rest of my life after that, verbally, not physically. And verbal damage does a lot on us. And today I was having a talk with my daughter. She's 11, and, she was telling me about, what's your opinion, Dad, on this, or that? And one of the things she brought up was, she goes, Dad, what's your opinion on, you know, how to wake up in the morning and get motivated? And I said, well, kiddo, let me share my philosophy with you. And that is, everything in life is a choice. Those choices we make us who we are. And who we are is how everyone else is going to see us, whether we like it or not. Everyone in this world is very perceptive. They're judgmental. They're critical. They're criticizing everything we do. We feel like we have to walk on eggshells for that. And I said, you shouldn't have to. I said, but when you get up in the morning, there are two choices. There's one choice you actually have to make that's very important. And she goes, what's that? I said, well, you have to choose to be that person that day that wants to either let things happen, or you want to be the one that makes things happen. And so she goes, well, what do you mean, Dad? I don't understand. And I said, well, let me ask you this. If I was to ask you to go clean your room, and you said to me, I don't want to clean my room, Dad. Okay, well, that's going to end up in a whining argument, and you're going to want to debate and try to manipulate me and try to tell me, oh, Dad, I don't want to do this. Can I do this instead? And I said, okay. Well, when you do that choice, you're letting things happen. You're waiting for me to come to you to tell you what to do, even though you know what needs to be done. I said, now let's flip the script. What if you were to get up in the morning and say, okay, I know my mom and dad, they're gonna make me make my bed. They're gonna make me want to take out the trash, restock the water, whatever it is. I was like, you already know what we're gonna ask you to do. So I said, what if you were to get up in the morning, make your bed, brush your teeth, take out the trash, and then go and sit down in the living room and start watching TV? Then Mom and I would have nothing to come at you with, right? Like, you were like, I got it done. I did it for me. I did it because I didn't want to have an argument with my parents. I made the choice to do things a better way to make them happen. I said, you're going to have tons of these things in your life, tons of decisions like this throughout your life, where you're going to have to make that decision every day. You're going to wake up, and one day you're going to feel so tired, you're just going to let things happen. Other days you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, you know what? I need to get this done. I need to get that done. I need to get this done. And I said, you got to make it happen. Make it happen. No one is going to spoon feed you and tell you, hey, this is the right way to raise your child, or to raise your day, or to have a good day or a bad day, or this is how you can start your day off amazing. And this, if you do all these choices and you go through all these doors, that one door is going to open for you, and you're just going to be so happy. It's not like that. It's not. People, we pretend that that's the case. We try to control our lives every day, right? We try to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this today, and I'm going to feel great about it because I got to go and hang out with my friends, or I got to get in the swimming pool, or I got to go golfing, or I got to watch sports, whatever it was that day, right? The truth is, every single day, I have to make that choice. Do I let things happen, or do I make things happen? Well, I'll share a little bit about this. My current life now, I am married. I have one child. Well, two, but we'll get to that later. And certain things in my life have caused me a lot of grief, a lot of pain, and a lot of turmoil. I was not always the man I am today. Today, I am a man of faith. I put God first every day, every morning. I pray. I read my Bible. And I give all thanks to God because I know for a fact that if He wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be here today. So, the true story about why I started this channel. I started this channel not to create disciples, not to show people the pathway to God or anything like that. Charlie Kirk did a pretty good job of that. I am more of a believer in the fact that everyone has a testimony, everyone has a choice and a decisions multiple times throughout their lives that have converted them, changed them, made them who they are today. And my goal by doing these videos is to share that with everyone out there. I'm here to share it with you. I just hope and pray that somebody will be able to see it, understand what I'm going through, what I've went through to get here, and think, wow, you know what? He makes a good point. I really hope that, I impact somebody like that. Now, I'm not saying here I'm going to be able to change people's lives. I'm not sitting here saying that I want to change anyone's life. I just want to paint a picture that is easier and better for everyone to see. Because I feel like when you can find someone to connect with, someone who empathizes, sympathizes, understands, been through it, been through the tough times, you're more reluctant to listen to them because you're like, oh, it's not like it was with you. Oh, what you went through is nothing. I had it way worse. And I've heard it all, honest. Through friends, through close family, through the ones I've loved and lost, to the ones that I lost that never had a chance. And I think that being able to explain this to people, showing them how I became a man of God and what it has done in my life and how I found my true calling. And to do that, I don't want everybody thinking that, oh, it's just another one of those guys who grew up around the church, who grew up trying to, who understood life from the beginning. He was spoon-fed and he's a rich kid and he didn't struggle. I don't want anyone thinking that of me because that's completely not true. Some things I was spoiled. Sometimes I wasn't. Some things I got because of the grace of other people in my life. I would not be the man I am today if it had not been for those who have saved me. And here I am in my 40s and I got saved again. And this time it was the true saving and the true calling for myself. I don't like to admit that it took me so long in life to learn. Some people, they have people who explained it to them when they were younger. They had people who showed them the light, who guided them in life. I was pretty much self-guided. I didn't have very many people, especially in my younger life, that really cared about what I was doing, where I was going. My mom did for the most part. Me and my brothers were reckless. We would chase down rattlesnakes. We'd go four-wheeling. We'd do all this stuff with neighbors and friends, but never our family, right? So I always kind of grew up with thinking that my friends were my family. Some had better lives, some had worse lives than me. And because of that, we all got along really well, right? They made the best friends. And so I guess what I'm trying to get to you guys to understand is that there's no picture perfect way that I'm going to be able to spit out everything that I've gone through. I'll be breaking it down in sections, little by little, just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a background on me and then the major transitions in my life that really sometimes hurt me, crushed me, left me wounded, down on the ground, feeling like what else could happen? Praying to God even when I truly didn't believe. I just had to believe in something because I had nothing to go off of in my life. I wanted to kind of go through how I got emancipated at 16, living on my own, the struggles I went through, making that choice. I Want to go over the times that I went through an abortion with a kid that I didn't have a choice over. I want to discuss the decisions where I was dating someone who miscarried with my child and the pain that I felt through that. I want to discuss the decisions I made with how I chose not to be an alcoholic, how I chose not to be a pothead or a druggie like my brothers. I wanted to learn that I wanted to see the happier things in life instead of the life I was dealt. So we may not be able to choose the family we were born into, like I said previously. However, we can choose to take what we want from it. I thank my mom every day because she put food on our plates and she provided a roof over our head, and we never had to be homeless because of the people that we had in our lives. A couple times I've been a couch surfer, living off of other friends, surfing around. But the moral of my story is that I think pain can shape us into becoming something way stronger than we could have ever imagined. But we need to feel that pain. We need to feel that loss. Because if we don't, well, then how do we make better choices, right? I mean, when you're a kid, don't touch that. Oh, okay, I'm going to touch it. Ow, it hurt. Well, now you learn not to do it again, right? But how come it works so easy when we're kids? But then as we get older and we get into adults, our whole perception of that changes. We think that we control everything around us. We can do this, we can do that. We can make all these great choices, and people just have to respect, I guess respect it per se. But, it's like what's expected of you. Men, for crying out loud, we are so proud, right? We have pride, we have envy, we have lust that just constantly are beating us down every day. So I guess I'm here to share that story of how I became the man I am today. Because I was not born in a family that had faith. I was not born into a family that went and hung out together all the time or was open-minded and talking to, when it came to talking about emotions or feelings. I kind of grew up restricted, shy, bashful kid. Always made friends everywhere I went. I was still a comedian. I still love to make people laugh and have a good time. Life is too short not to enjoy. So here on this channel, I want you to know that that's what basically we are going to be discussing. I've already posted one video. If you haven't seen it, please go back and check it out, about my early childhood life. Now, I went a little bit too far with it and kind of pushed my childhood life like there was nothing in there. Just kind of gave a backstory on it. But as I go forward, I will be diving a little bit more into the emotional issues that I faced, the abandonment issues I had, the trust issues I still have with people at times, and it all started there. I mean, at the time, I didn't know that, right? I mean, who thinks at 8 years old, oh, I'm not going to be able to trust that person? No, what I mean is, as you get older, you realize that, wow, that really did impact me when I was a kid. Wow, I really do have issues with that. And you don't realize it. So I'm here on this channel talking to you, not at you, talking to you, and discussing things that I've encountered in hopes that it will impact one of you. That's it. I don't care if it impacts you great, somewhat, don't understand it. I'm trying. This is my first time ever doing something like this, so I'm a little nervous, I'm a little on edge about it, but I know that there's nothing that anyone can say or do to me that I will hold against them, ever. I've been that way my whole life. So I hope that when you're on this channel that you learn a little bit something from me. I'm not older, I'm not wiser, just been through a lot. So please stay tuned, and hopefully you like it, subscribe to it, enjoy what I gotta say. Alright? So again, welcome to my channel. Real life stories with real choices that led to real growth. Thank you.